YouTuber movies are bad. This is not news. In fact, this might be one of the most overdone topics on this site. You see, in the early 2010s, with the dawn of early YouTube, big companies started to notice that little video sharing site had dragged children away from their TVs and to their computers. And like any greedy executive, the most logical course of action was to find a way to profit off of this. By far, the biggest example of this was Fred.
Oh my god, there's a shark!
This little fucker, played by Lucas Cruikshank, was the first YouTube channel to reach 1 million subscribers, and was once the most subscribed to channel on YouTube. He was in everything for a while. They had him cameo in kids' TV shows like iCarly, but he quickly got his own TV series, aka Fred the Show, and eventually Marvin Marvin, which is cinema, as well as a trilogy of movies that are not so cinema. Since then, there's been many attempts by YouTubers to transition into the world of mainstream entertainment, but they almost always end in failure. Which brings us to the topic of today's video, Smosh the movie. If you are unaware, Smosh is one of YouTube's oldest channels, and used to be one of its most popular, being its most subscribed channel 3 times in its history. And while today it's a much bigger affair with a full cast and a variety of content, back in its prime, it was mainly a sketch comedy channel, led by the dynamic duo of Anthony Padilla and Ian Hecox. With a natural comedy focus and an iconic character dynamic, putting Ian and Anthony in a movie should have been a piece of cake, right? So naturally they fucked it up. You see, Smosh the movie is a product of the Defy era of Smosh, which you can learn more about in my Smosh retrospective, but to keep things brief, it was a time where Smosh's corporate owners were really trying to squeeze everything they could out of the brand. This is what pushed them to make a movie, even though the original creators, Ian and Anthony, weren't interested. So what happens when a greedy company tries to adapt short comedy skits into a full-length movie without the original creators working directly on the script? You create a movie so bad, not only does it remain at the bottom of IMDb to this day, but it acts as a permanent stain on Smosh's history.
I mean, like, look, was Smosh the movie a good movie? No, but...
No one's denying that.
But is it really as bad as people say it is? Yes! Yes it is. Hi, it's Datache, and here's why. I watched this with a bunch of friends, so get used to hearing their voices.
I just love checking the time on the movie. It won't go any faster if you
I
look.
generally think it's been about 3 hours since we started watching.
Smosh the movie starts by introducing us to our 2 main characters, Ian and Anthony. While Anthony works a dead-end pizza job, wanting to be taken seriously by those around him, Ian is an unemployed slacker who stays at home all day. He's also introduced watching a bunch of random YouTube videos, including... butt massage girl. Let's just get this out of the way. This is a video of a girl having her butt massaged on YouTube that Ian is pretty fond of. He also thinks that they're legitimately in a relationship despite the fact that she flags all of his sexual comments. This guy would never survive the OnlyFans models on Twitter. Anyway, the boys get an invitation to their high school reunion that's happening later that day, with Anthony seeing it as a chance to finally make a move on his high school crush, Anna Reed. Back in high school, he ended up chickening out of hanging out with her, and he's let that consume his mind since.
I want to kill myself.
Why? This is like the greatest romance.
What do you mean, why?
Don't you want to moonwalk with the love of your life?
Okay, I'll do it. You will? Yeah. You assume I feel love.
He looks like he already came his pants.
Probably did.
He also, killed a guy or whatever, but don't worry about it. Point is, Anthony wants a chance to get Anna to forget what a loser he was in high school, and show her how cool he is now. You know, with his minimum wage job and $25 haircut. Here's the problem though. You know those videos of autistic preteens singing FNAF or Bendy songs at a school talent show or whatever? Yeah, so at his high school prom, Anthony sung the Magic Pocket Slave Monsters, aka the legally distinct Pokemon theme, in front of everyone in his school, backflipped, and broke his fucking neck. Okay, well his neck was fine, his ego on the other hand was absolutely not. The problem is that someone recorded this and has now uploaded it to YouTube, and at this rate, Anthony's gonna look like a dork in front of his crush again. So Ian and Anthony do the only thing that makes sense in the moment. They're going down to YouTube HQ to get that video off the menu. That's right! Now, at this point, we're like 20 minutes in, and my friends and I, who were going into this mostly blind, mind you, kinda wrote this movie off as not particularly bad, but just sort of generic. For the most part, we just felt like the movie was dragging on, and we felt this for its entire runtime. At the very least, we were glad they hadn't made any seriously cruel jokes.
Granted, it could have been blatant transphobia, like every other fucking, like, mid-2010s comedy.
Like, this movie isn't particularly funny, but some of the slapstick made us laugh. And there was this incredibly aggro postman who was the one consistently funny part of the movie.
Hey, what'd you do to the mailman?
Nothing? Why?
You know what you did.
The fuck?
Seriously, man, butt massage?
Oh shit, a good joke! Fuck!
Wow.
But we figured it was gonna be a generic road trip movie where Ian and Anthony travel across the country to YouTube HQ to delete the video, and maybe learn something about themselves along the way. Sort of like Fred 1 from the iconic Fred trilogy of films. But that's not what happened. Ian and Anthony make their way to YouTube HQ fairly quickly, in fact, rocking up to talk to the CEO. And this was when I remembered what this movie was really about. Meet Steve YouTube. Yes, that's his real name.
I don't care what Billy's Snapchat says. Billy's Snapchat is a little bitch. I'm Steve YouTube. What I say goes.
Because good old Steve has taken a liking to these two boys. He's giving the boys a chance to go through a portal into YouTube to find the embarrassing video and change it from the inside. He hands them these phones with Deary on it to navigate YouTube, which, yes, does mean this video does a bunch of dated Siri jokes, but also means that if these phones die, they'll be stuck in YouTube forever. Remember when this movie was like, at least a little bit grounded? This was a boring coming-of-age film like 10 minutes ago. Now they've entered a bear mauling video and are running for their lives. I don't even think the premise is necessarily a bad idea. They just don't really have the budget to do it justice. Like, there's a scene where, while hopping between videos, Ian and Anthony get warped into a furry party, but the fursuits are so cheap that you could barely tell what they're going for. Anyway, the pair end up splitting up to cover more ground, with Anthony finding a vlog of his crush, Anna Reed, where she confesses to liking him, while Ian ends up in no.
Oh, for
Oh
fuck's
god
sake.
fucking damn it.
Hold it!
God, I remembered the right address.
Is he gonna...
No. Oh, okay. This is so
Okay,
much better than I thought
that's-
what he was going to do.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
thought
this
he
is
was gonna
better or
molest her.
worse. Me too!
Hello there.
The fuck?
Okay, I'm not gonna linger on this, but this fucking clip comes up a lot. This movie cannot go 5 minutes without showing this woman's butt being grabbed, and it is really gross. I hate it. It does turn out that Ian's delusions were actually true and these two do love each other or whatever, but I'm not even dignifying this fucking plot point. Don't get your hopes up for things getting better from here, since, unfortunately, I think the movie really starts to fall apart here. After spending forever journeying into YouTube, Ian and Anthony finally managed to find the video from Anthony's prom night. They try to devise a plan, but very quickly get distracted because Anthony finds out that Ian was the one who recorded the video, and also the one who put it online. Everything that has brought them to this point is Ian's fault, and I took this revelation very well.
I am of the opinion that both of these people should die.
Yes! They both
In real
suck.
life or just in the movie?
I think Anthony is just... He's bad, but he's... whatever. Ian is an actual prick.
Ian is just evil.
I have a lot of issues with this movie because holy shit. But it's really hard to air my frustrations without going in depth on something that really holds this movie back. Ian sucks ass! Any good writer will tell you that scenes establishing a new character are very important. Not only is this your audience's first impression of this character, but it's also a chance to set up where they are now and what sort of character journey they'll go on. Ian's introduction has him jacking off to a woman on YouTube, then immediately trying to bum a ride off of Anthony while he's working. From the very moment he's introduced in this movie, the audience is primed to not have an ounce of respect for him. That's not necessarily a problem. There are tons of characters and stuff people like who are introduced unfavorably, but the more time we spend with them, the more we come to like or at least understand them. And Smosh the movie attempts to do this. Emphasis on attempts to. Ian and Anthony are supposed to be parallels. Anthony wants to grow up, move past what he was like in high school, and be recognized as a mature adult. Ian doesn't want to grow up, and wants Anthony to remember how cool he was in high school. The things he does in this movie, like posting that video in the first place, were his way of showing Anthony how cool he used to be. And while, spoiler alert, Anthony realizes it's okay to be a bit of a loser by the end of this movie, Ian doesn't really change at all, but he's still allowed to get with Butt Massage Girl and reap rewards he does not deserve. The real problem here is the more we learn about Ian, the worse he appears. He's consistently an inconsiderate, immature asshole, and this only ends up screwing over other people. He assaults the mailman with balloons of milk for no reason. He's shown secretly recording Anthony multiple times to upload online. He is constantly weird with women. And the worst part is that he is completely oblivious to the fact he's an asshole. If he's in a scene, there is a 90% chance he is going to piss me the hell off. Fuck! We're not even done with this movie yet. I could just cancel this video. I've had to rewatch this film multiple times to make this script, and I think it's hurting me in ways I didn't think were possible. Whatever, tangent over. So Anthony finds out that Ian is the cause of all of this, and has a very justified crash out, with the two fighting through multiple YouTube videos before they remember, oh yeah, we should probably deal with the fucking prom video. So putting their two brain cells together, they solve this problem the best way they know how.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to knock you out so you don't embarrass yourself.
Told you I don't go down that easy. Hey, yo.
Thanks.
A brick?
Where did the brick come from?
This escalates, but after realizing their phones only have 5% battery left, Ian and Anthony decide to bail, and ask Deary to take them back to the portal. But Deary doesn't want that.
Deary, this is not the time for games, okay? If we don't get back to that portal now, we're gonna be stuck here in YouTube forever!
What is it with you guys? First, you idiots barge into my office off the street asking for favors. I am gracious enough to listen, but then you won't even laugh at my wiener jokes, even though they are super funny.
Wait, Steve? Is that you?
No.
Steve YouTube is Deary, I guess, even though Deary spoke in the same room as Steve YouTube, so that just doesn't make any sense. Whatever. He wants to trap Ian and Anthony in YouTube forever, so they can be jackasses in some bizarre internet torment nexus. So the pair go backwards through their viewing history while Steve chases them. That is until they're cornered by Steve right as they reach the portal. With their backs against the wall, it looks like all hope is lost for the boys until...
Steve, look behind you. No, not gonna fall for that one.
He's serious.
Steve? Listen! No, you listen. Oh my... Oh!
That is not Steve YouTube.
Man versus bear.
I don't think it's reversed at this point.
Come on, dude, we gotta go.
I can't believe that they managed to hire a bear to do that.
Never mind. Whatever. How much longer do we have left?
How much longer do we have?
Too long.
How? How? What's left?
There's like 10 minutes of credits, in theory.
I hope.
If you couldn't tell, we were having a lot of fun watching this. So Ian and Anthony get home, and I really want you to guess what happens in the last 20 minutes of this movie. Seriously. After all the fucking bullshit that has gone down, anything is possible at this point. I'll wait. If you guessed that by changing the video into a giant high school brawl, they changed the timeline back to the future style, coming back to a timeline where the boys are now rich and famous, with Ian dating butt massage girl, and Anthony having a harem of 30 women in bikinis, then you have some serious problems.
You don't have a girlfriend.
Thanks, Obama.
I don't?
You have like 30.
Oh no! No! No!
More objectification.
Oh god.
This is did they just get back every single Smosh bikini thumbnail girl?
You're all my girlfriend. You're my
Jesus
girlfriend. You're my girlfriend. Oh my god.
This was written by a man, I don't know if you could tell.
Oh yeah, also Steve YouTube is a pizza guy now.
And you're Steve YouTube, right?
It's pronounced YouTube.
Anyway, they go to the prom. Anthony goes to meet Anna Reed as someone who's rich and powerful and famous and seen as a big deal, but it turns out that she liked the simple, nerdy, kind of dorky Anthony. Big surprise, you guys have seen a coming-of-age movie like this before. Be yourself, never try to improve your life. In fact, you should make it worse by watching this movie. So Anthony proves he's still the same dork at heart, the only way that makes sense.
I wanna be the master. I wanna flip the switch.
So everything ends with a little duet between Ian and Anthony. I'd be charmed about this kind of dorky end to the movie, if they didn't end it like this.
No wonder they fucking hate this movie.
They hate it.
Hi,
I haven't
I'm
ever speak
Nice to
about
meet
it.
you. My name's Brad.
What the fuck?
Oh, it is transphobia.
It is a
Okay.
transphobia joke.
Yay.
What a great note to end off on.
Man, I'm sure glad that joke didn't age poorly. Let's just wrap this up.
Shut up!
YouTuber movies are bad. This is a fairly common opinion, and the one I opened the video with. But after watching this train wreck, I can't help but ask, why? Because in spite of everything, I can still see the vision for this movie. It wants to be a silly comedy story while representing a bunch of what Smosh and the internet was like at the time. And I think it kind of succeeds. The opening animation was done by Shut Up Cartoons, which was a Smosh animation channel running at the time. Anthony singing the Magic Pocket Slave Monsters theme is a direct reference to one of their first viral videos, where Ian and Anthony lip-synced the Pokemon theme. Hell, even the bikini girls from a ton of the older videos are sort of represented in the ending. But just because the movie accurately represents what Smosh was like, doesn't make the movie good. In fact, that might be its biggest detriment. And to understand that, I want us to look back at Fred for a second. Videos on the Fred channel revolved around Fred, a hyperactive 8-year-old boy being played by a teenager. To mimic the mannerisms of a young kid, he would speed up the video and dramatically increase the pitch of his voice, which sort of became a trademark of the character, along with him screaming. This iconic, albeit ear-wrecking trait of his was implemented into the movies as well, but when extended out to a feature film length, Fred becomes draining very quickly, and it makes his movies very hard to sit through. In the same way, classic Smosh videos mainly had Ian and Anthony as these exaggerated caricatures of the stuff teenage boys want to do or care about. It's why there was so much focus on video games and movies and hot girls, and why they end up being these kind of brainless arsehole characters. They were written this way for the sake of humor and 5-minute long YouTube sketches. Their characterization was never supposed to be taken seriously. But what happens when you force these archetypes into a feature-length format? You get Ian. Smosh the movie understands the basics of what makes Smosh, Smosh. Maybe a little too well. It tries to condense all of these ideas into one movie, and it's why there's like 3 different plots here. The coming of age stuff, YouTube adventure, and Back to the Future style stuff all kind of fight for relevancy, and it makes the plot feel cluttered. If they just stuck to one, this movie would at least be consistent. That's not even mentioning how the 90-minute runtime amplifies all of the worst aspects of classic Smosh. It makes Ian and Anthony intolerable. It shows how weak 2010's random humor can be. and exposes just how rampant the misogyny is. I've already mentioned in my previous video that I don't think classic Smosh has aged particularly well, and has a bunch of objectionable content in it. But this movie is absolutely some of the worst. Honestly, the movie ending on a shitty transphobic joke really soured my experience with the whole thing. And I could just end my thoughts here. Make a stupid one-liner and go to the end screen, but I don't like being negative about stuff on this channel. So to end off, I want to talk about things I like in this movie. I mentioned this before, but I really like how insane the Postman is. And considering what Ian puts him through, he really deserves it.
You little bastard.
What the fuck?
I like the fact that different YouTube videos are set up at the beginning of the movie, and are recontextualized when Ian and Anthony start hopping through them. I really like the running gag of Ian and Anthony being replaced with ragdolls whenever they fall somewhere. And despite how the majority of this movie was a slog, and I was constantly checking the time, there were always these little moments that were so absurd that I couldn't help but giggle. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm literally 12. Markiplier Chainsaw Gorilla is the funniest shit ever. That being said, I wouldn't recommend watching this movie, even for ironic value. It drags, it's unfunny, it's incompetently produced, and it's kind of gross. I think this movie is best remembered as a sort of lesson on why adapting YouTubers to different mediums is difficult, why you should probably listen to a brand's original creators, but most importantly, why YouTuber movies are bad. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey everyone, I just wanted to thank everyone who's been supporting the channel this year, especially on the Yokai Watch video. I'm hoping to upload more next year, or at least do some short form content, so make sure to subscribe or donate to my Ko-Fi. But until then, thanks for watching, and bye bye!